What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm Manny Gomez at MannyGo3. Luis, what up, brah?
What's up, guys? Follow me on Twitter at HovaMojo. I'm not gonna explain to you where that name came from. You're just gonna have to deal with it. But
He's obsessed with Jay-Z. Follow the show at WT the show, and hit that subscribe button, guys. Smash the shit out of that motherfucker. Like,
yeah,
take your mouse cursor, point it at the subscribe button, and then throw your mouse at the wall so that it clicks it like as hard as possible.
yeah. And for anybody watching this that's recently been engaging in the comment section of the YouTube video, we encourage that shit. Keep it coming. But bring your friends along too, man. Get a support group going.
Yeah,
we
know we're new at this. We're primarily an audio podcast. The whole video component is pretty recent for us, and we like seeing the interaction. So keep them coming. If you feel really strong about your opinions, come on the show, man. Like,
yeah,
put up or shut up. What the fuck?
Actually, we have a hotline for voicemails. We're gonna have to bring that back around.
We sure do. Can't tell you what that is right now, but we sure do. But you could go on Anchor, go on our Anchor podcast site, and you could leave us a message through there, and we will definitely respond to it. But anyway, enough of these haters. Let's let's talk some baseball, man.
Let's do it.
I think the most important thing that happened since we last spoke was the trade deadline. So any reactions, Mr. Luis?
Yeah, man. The Red Sox traded away Kevin Pillar. I think it was the Rockies that we traded him away to.
I believe so, yes.
I just want to say Kevin Pillar is a baller, man. I like Kevin Pillar. And I think he's underrated in terms of what he brings, like his quality of play style.
One of the main reasons why I think the balls are juiced is because of Kevin Pillar.
Because he's smacking the ball around?
Yeah, because all of a sudden he's a hitter.
Well, the balls are definitely, I don't care what the numbers will say at the end of the year. If they project that the home run record would not have been shattered by the end of the year, you can't convince me from what I've seen. Choi's home run off Garrett Cole yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Dude, the ball, they're rubber. The balls are currently made of rubber.
How about Ronald Acuna's first at bat back from the IL against Garrett Cole? 473 feet.
Insane. I mean, he can. Ronald Acuna is one of those rare talents. He goes oppo deep. It doesn't really matter, but it's just I've seen so many guys out in front or almost jammed off the end of the bat, and the ball's like not just hitting the wall. It's like ricocheting off the wall at a high speed.
Yeah,
it's going over the fence. It's all the stuff, man. Balls are juiced.
Real quick on Kevin Pillar, this guy is a 407 career slugging hitter in Fenway this year. 470. That's all I'm saying. 470 slugging.
Oh yeah, the balls are juiced.
Balls are definitely juiced. But no, I'm throwing some shade at Kevin Pillar. I agree. He's a baller. You're like he made a play in Fenway. I think it was a week or two ago, and I just said like every year there's at least 5 of those for Kevin Pillar where he just like sacrifices his entire body for a ball and somehow manages to come up with it. But yeah, I mean, are you surprised that the Red Sox didn't trade JBJ? That was a big name that was out there, and it just never happened.
No, I'm not surprised. He's been with the team for a while, and sometimes trades don't happen not because lack of trying, but maybe there just wasn't the right pieces weren't in place. I don't know. I mean, are you looking at it in the way that they should just take what they can get at any price?
No, not at any price, but I think his name was floating around out there. I think the market for hitters was very weak in the trade deadline. The biggest bat that moved was Starling Marte to where did he
Miami.
go again? To Miami, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that given that the Red Sox might have been able to get a little bit more than they had anticipated for him. I'm also surprised that they didn't try to move Mr. Just Dingers Martinez too, just because he has an opt-out again at the end of next season, I believe, and he's owed close to $20 million per year for the next 2 years. And I don't think the Red Sox – I'm not trying to throw shade. I just don't think you guys are going to compete for a couple of years, maybe a year or two. Yeah, and you could get a lot for a bat like that. Even though he's struggling this year, we know what he's capable of.
No, yeah, I agree. I thought JD Martinez would have been moved. I'm assuming that because he's been performing at a subpar level this year, that maybe they didn't want to trade him for nothing. Um, if he doesn't opt out, I think we have him for one more year, so could always be traded next year. We won't be competing next year as well. At
So
least
that we don't
that's
get
the only
any
thing.
smart ass comments, any condescending comments out there, Luis. He has 2 more years left on his contract. He has 19.35 million owed next year, and he can opt out after next year. And then if he opts back in, he's owed another 19.35 million.
Yeah, for what JD Martinez can do, like what he's capable of, 19 million isn't that bad. So again, I think the opportunity to trade him will still be there next year.
All right. You don't have to yell. Shit.
I'm sorry, man.
All right. How
I
about
just want to
Mike?
say one. I
Yeah.
just want to say
Go ahead.
one more thing about the Red Sox, man. Alex Verdugo, that guy's a baller too, man. I'm happy that he was able to play for us this year.
Yeah, that was definitely a fair trade. Mookie Betts and David Price for Verdugo. Does that make sense?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said, man. But God, putting words into my mouth. Jesus.
Mookie Betts having another MVP caliber season over in Los Angeles. Damn, he looks good in blue, man. I like Mookie in Los Angeles.
He looked better in a Red Sox uniform. Let's just call it what it is.
All right. The biggest trade I think was Mike Levenger to the Cleveland Indians, and now that should open up a spot for your boy Zach Plesac to come back. Any news on that end?
Yeah, he's pitching today, I believe,
Nice.
against the Kansas City Royals. So I'm expecting a 20 spotter right there.
Okay. Kansas
And just
City
for
Royals.
and just for you guys that don't know, Zach Plesac is on my fantasy team. And because he decided to, I don't know, go to an Outback Steakhouse, I guess, with some of his boys and Mike Levenger. I guess they were teaching him a lesson. He hasn't pitched since
About a
August
month.
8th. August
Yeah.
8th, he hasn't pitched.
Crazy.
Apparently they didn't have room for him, but yep, now he's returning from the alternate training site, and he will be starting today against the Royals. So hopefully, things work out.
The other big move was Starling Marte to the Miami Marlins, which I was kind of surprised by because just a few seconds before this trade was announced, it had been announced that Jonathan Villar had been traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. And the reason why I'm surprised by that is because Jonathan Villar is one of Miami's better hitters. I think he led baseball with 9 steals. And Starling Marte is definitely a really good bat, but I kind of see them as similar hitters at this point. Good for average. Marte isn't hitting for power this year. He only has 2 home runs. He doesn't. He can run the bases really well. He's stolen 47 bags before in the past. It doesn't seem like he's running at that rate this year. So I'm not really sure what the point of that move was.
Yeah, like if I had to choose between Starling Marte or Jonathan Villar, I'd go Marte, but they're only going to have him for another year. Mm-hmm. And I really don't know if the Marlins are contenders this year. Right? I mean, they're currently sitting
they're in it.
They're in it, yeah. But I mean, they're currently sitting at 500 record.
Yeah. With
a negative 11 run differential. I don't think they will necessarily go into the playoffs and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to compete. So I don't really know why they're making moves unless it was trading away, a player like Jonathan Villar, who they only have for this year. That makes sense. But to bring in Starling Marte, I don't really, it kind of missed me on that one too.
Yeah. Miami, as it currently stands, is based on run differential. They'll be the 3rd seed in the postseason ranking. So they're in it, and I can see why they're trying to make some moves. I think it's nice to see that the Miami Marlins are bringing players in as opposed to just kicking them out. But that move in general for me was confusing. Trade away VR, get back Marte, because I'm looking at their numbers right now. They both have the same number of home runs. VR has 2 home runs. Marte has 2 home runs. Marte has a better batting average. VR has more stolen bases. VR can play multiple positions. He can play anywhere across the diamond, where starting Marte is primarily an outfielder. Let's see. Marte's 31. VR is
30, 29, 30.
29. He's younger.
He's 29. He's 29.
Maybe it's the contract situation. Maybe they're trying to free themselves of some money. VR was owed $8.2 million this year, but it expires. It was just a 1-year deal. Marte's owed
12 next year.
Okay.
So
yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't get it.
He's older. He's owed more money. Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't think the Marlins needed to make a move. Is pretty much what I'm saying.
Unless it seemed like it was a move just for the sake of making moves. And you got rid of Caleb Smith too, which he's not great or anything, but he's okay. Like in the past, he's been a middle of the road type of starter, mid-4 ERA, low to mid-4 ERA. This year, he's not doing so great. Kind of confusing, but okay.
Now both players are still technically in the playoff hunt because Toronto. Huh? How about the Blue Jays on the Yankees, breathing down the Yankees' neck right now? And then
chill, right? What the fuck?
And then,
damn.
All right, I'm sorry, man. And then obviously
Toronto and the Yankees face off 10 times this month, by the way. So those are going to be big games between these two teams.
But Toronto's currently 8-9 against teams above 500. Yankees are currently sitting at 5-11. Man,
we spoke about this already. You guys,
we did. We don't need to.
You don't have to keep throwing shade on my team. What the fuck?
I just want to quickly say also, Miami Marlins are 4-7 against teams above 500, and they have to make up about 5 games to be in line with Atlanta.
Baseball has announced that they are going to go with a postseason bubble. They took my advice. You guys can check out that video. They called me up. They said, "Hey, I like your idea. We're going to go for it. Just don't tell anybody that we're calling you. That some random dude in Pennsylvania is giving us ideas." Just kidding. But anyway, there is going to be a postseason bubble, which something clicked recently for me. I've been down on the Yankees, and then I remember that there's going to be a postseason bubble, which made me think this. It doesn't matter where you're seated if there's going to be a postseason bubble because there's no home field advantage. So who gives a fuck where you're going to play? If you're in a postseason bubble, the reason why I'm trying to get a higher seeding is so that I can face an easier opponent, 1. And 2, I can have home field advantage. I can sleep in my own bed more. I can go see my wife more. I can go fuck around with my kids a little more. But since it's going to be a bubble now, it doesn't matter. And if the Yankees are at full force in October, if they can get everybody back healthy, I'm okay with taking the 8 seed. I feel confident enough in my team.
You know, I don't know. You're right. When healthy, I don't think it. I think it matters less if the Yankees are healthy. But they are 13-6 at home compared to 6-8 away. And you would want to get that. You would want to get that first seed to get that first week bye, right?
I don't think there's going to be a bye though, because
all right, then I completely missed how the playoff picture is going to pan out. I thought 2 teams on each side were going to get a first week bye of some sort, but I think it does matter where you're seated still. I mean, you don't want to face off against the number 1 seeded team, who in this case at this point would be Tampa.
Yeah, and that would be the hardest opponent for the Yankees. And by the way, Luis has just revealed himself to us here. He does not check up on WTTSpod.com, where I write a weekly piece called "If the 2020 MLB Postseason Started Today." And yesterday, I wrote a new one. And
I check it, man. It's just that, football's about to start. They have a bye week. They have a similar playoff picture with bye weeks and shit. So I'm sorry, man. I'm not perfect. All right. Okay, I'm just a Red Sox fan. It's been a hard year.
So for those of you who don't know how the MLB postseason is going to work, in years past, since they added the second wild card, the 3 division winners get a bye, while the 2 wild card teams play a elimination game to determine who's going to face off in the ALDS. This year, they're allowing 8 teams in each division, and it's going to work kind of like the NBA, NFL, where the 1 seed faces the 8 seed, the 2 seed faces the 7 seed, 3 seed faces 6, 4 faces 5. But since they're playing and they're gonna face off in a best of 3 elimination, best of 3 series first before you go into the ALDS, which is a best of 5 Then you go into the ALCS, which is a best of 7, and into the World Series, where the Yankees will be crowned the champion, the 2020 champion, their 28th World Series, unmatched by any other organization in American professional sports. As it stands right now, as of yesterday, the Yankees would be facing off against the Cleveland Indians, which you can't sniff at either, because they're still going to throw at you Shane Bieber for game 1. Yep. And then they have to just win one more game after that. You know what I mean? In that first series.
Again, man, I think seeding matters in this case, just because, you know, obviously it all depends on the Yankees' health. But even with their health, you don't want to face the Rays. A part of me feels like you don't want to face even the Astros. The Astros have been hot lately. The White Sox are a threatening team. I know you guys own the Twins, but if you face the Twins in a 3-game series, who knows what could happen? I mean, in a 3-game series, Oakland A's is a tough team, so I think seeding matters. You know,
the Chicago White Sox, by the way, 22-13, not the best record, but they have the best run differential in the American League, and they're in first place. We thought the Twins were going to run away with that division. The White Sox are in first place, and the Indians are in second place. The Twins are barely hanging on to the 7th seed. They could lose it to the Blue Jays very soon. Yeah. Okay.
How about the Astros though, man?
I'm still gonna hold on to this. And by the way, it's gonna be hard to lose a postseason for the teams that are currently in right now. It's gonna be hard for that to change, I think, moving forward, because if I look at the teams that are in it, again, Rays, Yankees, Toronto, White Sox, Cleveland, Minnesota, Oakland, and Houston. After that, I can't see any of these other teams coming out of nowhere to compete. Like, I know that the Detroit Tigers are 500, but I don't really believe in the Detroit Tigers. They almost remind me of the Marlins. They have a negative 21 run differential. They're 500. They're 1 game behind Minnesota, tied in the loss column. I don't know. I don't think Detroit's is gonna be a threat. Kansas City's not a threat. Texas isn't a threat. Seattle isn't a threat. Los Angeles isn't a threat. Baltimore isn't a threat. And who definitely isn't a threat is the Boston Red Sox. That team is just a fucking joke. But so listen, I think that at this point we're looking at what the playoff picture is going to be already in October for the American League.
Yeah.
As a Yankees fan, put me anywhere in the seeding. I just want my team to be healthy at this point, and I feel good in my team if they're healthy. And I need Garrett Cole to fucking figure his shit out. Like, stop giving up home runs already.
Yeah, man. I think, like I said, if healthy, it matters less where you're seated. But even then, I just think that pitching wise, you're not as solid as you like to think, especially because you said Garrett Cole is struggling a little bit, or not that he's like struggling so terribly. He's just not the Garrett Cole of last year. And I think you're right. I think the playoff picture is set in the American League for the teams that we're looking at. In the National League, however, I'm a little shocked that, San Francisco could technically find their way into the playoffs.
They're a half game behind the Rockies. The Rockies are currently the Rockies they're the 7th seed.
Oh, okay.
Wait. All right, let me go through it. Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, St. Louis, Dodgers, San Diego, and then of the third place teams, you have Philadelphia's going to get in, and Colorado. Yeah, so San Francisco is a half a game behind Colorado for the 8th seed.
Well, I don't think any of those third place teams are set. I mean, Philadelphia is currently sitting at a 500 record as well.
They're playing well though over the last 10 games, 6-4. And they're coming to their own there. I feel good about Philadelphia. Joe Girardi's getting the mid 2000 Yankees back. David Phelps is back for Philadelphia.
Didi's there.
I think the story of both leagues actually is these teams, like you said, the San Francisco Giants a half a game behind, the San Diego Padres sniffing the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're only 4.5 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have they have scored more runs than the Los Angeles Dodgers, 211 to 204. I think that's the most in baseball, actually.
Yeah.
Let me confirm that. It is the most in baseball. They have a plus 43 run differential, and they just added Clevenger. Whereas the Dodgers, I was looking at their depth chart. Walker Buehler's on the IL. He should be back pretty soon. But aside from Walker Buehler and Clayton Kershaw, you have Dustin May, who we've seen him be really good, but I'm
He's young.
comfortable saying that he's an unproven commodity right now. You're not sure what you're going to get from Dustin May at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to declare this, CT, and I know that I've become like I've adopted San Diego as my National League team kind of over the last few days. The San Diego Padres are going to win the World Series this year, man. If it's not the Yankees.
Oh, wow. You know what? I didn't realize that Gavin Lux got called up.
He had been called up earlier and sent back down. They're giving him another shot.
I hadn't realized that he got called up, so who knows? He could have a big impact down the stretch. I gotta say, man, it's still the Dodgers to me. They have the best run differential. They have Mookie Betts. They're doing all this despite Walker Buehler not performing to his ability and also being on the IL. I'm not sure if Cody Bellinger has had the chance to bounce back yet, but I mean, look, they're 11-5 at home, 15-5 away. I think the Dodgers are the favorite. I would be shocked if they at least don't appear in the World Series.
Okay. Cody Bellinger is hitting 225, 305 with a 478 slugging. Let's see. Has there been improvement over the last 10 games? He's hitting 341 with a 438 on base, a 854 slugging, and he has 6 home runs and 11 RBI in that time. How about Christian Yelich, though? What's going on with Yelich?
I don't know, man, but whichever way you look at it, I mean, it's really just like a sample size of a month and a half of baseball, which is normal. I mean, look at Paul Goldschmidt and how he tends to usually perform. Like, I think Paul Goldschmidt usually starts off slow and then turns it up. So I don't want to speculate that there's anything wrong with Christian Yelich. I just think it's a small sample size, and we won't really know until this season's over, until next season starts.
That's a good good level-headed way to look at it. And you kind of brought me down to earth there too, because I'm looking at these numbers as if it's September,
Yeah, exactly. Like, it is September, but we're looking at it as if we just had 4 to 5, 6 months of baseball.
In all actuality, Yelich has played 32 games. Right now, it's early May to these players. It's not September. And in early May, you can have a hitter be sub 200, and by the end of the month, he could be hitting 300. You know what I'm saying? Like, these numbers are still fluctuating a lot. It's just kind of surprising to see this guy who's a perennial MVP candidate now, 2 years in a row. Last year, he was the runner-up, but I think he was favored before he got hurt. And he's below the Mendoza line. 8 home runs. He hit a bomb last week. He made the top 10 home run list. Check it out, WTTSpod.com. But yeah, man, this season is I think the season is the season of the have-nots. I kind of wrote about this on Call to the Pen. You're seeing guys like the trade deadline was filled with trades, and it wasn't the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers. It wasn't those teams that were making all the moves. It was the Chicago White Sox. It was the White Sox didn't make any moves. It was the Toronto Blue Jays. It was the San Diego Padres. It was I think Oakland made a move. It was the Cubs making a minor move. Who made a move?
Did the Rays make a move?
The Rays, I can't remember if they made a move or not. But it was the smaller market teams, the Colorados, who see a light at the end of the tunnel because of the expanded postseason and because many of these teams are in the postseason hunt for the first time in God knows when. Like the Miami Marlins, I was looking up. The Miami Marlins haven't been to the postseason since 2003 when they won the World Series. It's been almost 20 years for this team. And though the moves didn't make sense, in my opinion, their move, it's still a sign that they're trying to do something. They must see something in Starling Marte that is beneficial to them. Maybe they needed an outfielder and not so much an infielder. I don't know. So I'm having fun watching these games, and I gotta say something, CTs, that is controversial, but I'm okay with the 7-inning doubleheaders, man.
Yeah,
And
I'm okay with them.
And I'm not hating that runner in second base rule. I'm not hating it.
Okay, real quick before we get into that, because I know you have to be lying if you think you like that rule. The
I
Rays
like it. I said I don't hate it. Oh, shit.
The Rays the Rays traded designated hitter
Jose Martinez. Please.
The Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, best team in the American League, making me eat my words when I said I don't even think they're a wild card team.
I said that they were the most dangerous team.
I was like, nah, man, I'm not buying it. Fuck out of here. I don't know about that team. They suck. Nah. The Rays traded designated hitter Jose Martinez to the Cubs for 2 players to be named, and then they called up outfielder Randy Arozarena. Randy Arozarena, a Cuban professional baseball player. Yeah. He was previously on the St. Louis Cardinals.
A Cuban.
Yeah, man.
Oye, said it. He batted 300 with a 500 slugging with the St. Louis Cardinals last season.
23 plate appearances.
Okay. I know we have a writer called to the pen that I believed interviewed Arozarena, and he's allegedly highly touted. I'm not sure who this guy is. Comes straight out of Cuba, Havana, Cuba.
Rice hand.
But I believe in Tampa, man. That team just can't do anything wrong at this point. Like, anybody they call up is a fucking beast.
Randy Rice Sand. Hey, Randy.
Arozarena.
All right, man. So can we briefly touch on this runner on second base?
So admittedly, the Yankees didn't have an extra inning game all season until the Mets series this past weekend. And we had 2 this past weekend. And the Yankees won both of them. So I want to just preface it with that I got to experience 2 extra inning games in a short span, and they both ended up in walk-offs for my team.
I believe you said that you enjoyed that you didn't hate the rule before this happened with the Yankees. So to your credit, this didn't become a.
I think it was before. I think it was after the Yankees.
Try to throw you a bone there. You sent it right back. Go ahead, man.
I don't. But in all honesty, and I'm trying to be objective here. Even if the Yankees had lost, I would have been pissed off. But, I don't know, man. It's just I felt like there was more strategy involved. Like the every pitch meant a little bit more because there's a guy in second base. There was more anxiety. You know, that's kind of what you're looking for in sports. You want to feel that rush, that adrenaline, that my team is close to blowing this shit and close to winning this. Like, you're right in the middle. You're right on the cusp. And I think that it was Chad Green who had blown the save the day before came in. And I think he struck out the side, but I think they had a runner on first too. They ended up having a runner on first and second. And I just felt like, oh my God, one pitch could fucking ruin this for the Yankees. And he got out of it. And it was, I don't know, man. It felt like a postseason game to me in that moment, just because that runner in second base just added that extra element. And not only that, both games ended with it. It didn't go more than 1 inning, I don't think. So it's in the sense that it didn't turn into a 17, 18 inning affair. That was nice to see. And then the fact that the game for me became that much more entertaining because of it. I don't hate it. Now, when we're back to normal, when Papa Trump comes up with the vaccine, and I'm calling him Papa Trump now because I don't want him to kill me whenever he becomes a fascist dictator who takes over our country. Just kidding. Just kidding though. Forget the politics. When we get a vaccine and everything,
you can't.
and everything goes back to normal. I don't know if I'm gonna. What I would do is after like the 12th inning, and I think we've talked about this before. After the 12th inning, then you put a runner on second base.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. You know, to be honest with you, like there is that element of it being like there's that environment that it's like right there, like the game could be over right there when the extra inning game starts. And I could almost get on board with that happening in the 12th inning, right? Something like that. In order to avoid those 17 inning, 18 inning games that I don't care if you're the biggest baseball fan of, like, nobody wants to watch baseball for 6 hours straight. So
No,
just save it. Nobody wants to watch a baseball game for that long.
there's
Nobody
nothing
wants
worse
to
than
watch.
when you go to sleep. This has happened to me before. Go to sleep like at the 9th inning. Oh, free baseball, ladies and gentlemen. And you
Yeah.
wake up like 2 hours later and they're still playing. You're like, God damn, like seriously?
Yeah. Nobody wants to watch a 9 inning game that goes 4 hours because of all like the batters fixing their batting gloves and the pitching changes and stuff. So I do like the rule where, and someone's alarm is going off over here, but I like the rule where the bullpen arm comes in and has to pitch to a minimum of 3 batters. I like that rule. Even if it starts in the 12th inning, though, my problem is that it's so hard to come by to get a guy on second base. Like, that is not an easy thing to do. Just to give a team that, regardless if both teams have the same opportunity, to me, it's just so hard. Like, it's almost like the compromise should be start a guy at first base. Okay. But then again, like that could work to the advantage of a ground ball pitcher and you got a double play, whatever. The best thing would be to just do away with the rule entirely, but to put a guy on second base with no outs, man, like.
But the thing, the fair aspect about it, the reason why I don't mind it is because it's not like in football. Like I get my team to the 30-yard lines, score a field goal, and I win in overtime.
Well, they changed that rule, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, football's overtime rules are fucking stupid.
Okay. Fair.
Just my opinion. I think it's if you score a touchdown, game over, right?
If you score a touchdown,
dumb. Who decided that?
But that was even up until like 5 years ago. It was that if you kick a field goal, and my timetable could be way off. I don't care, guys. Once you pass a certain age, everything is like a 5 years ago type of thing.
Right.
But
it's all the same.
It wasn't until recently that it was still the rule that a field goal would win you the game, which was ridiculous. Right. Like nobody wants to lose a game like that. But yeah, go ahead.
But with baseball, what I'm trying to say is the Tampa Bay Rays, was it the Rays? No, the Mets. I'm looking at Rice and Sand over here, Randy Arrozarena, Tampa Bay Rays. What I'm trying to say is that the Rays got the opportunity, and then the Yankees had an opportunity to retort. So had the Rays scored a run, the Yankees would have had a chance to come back and win. Like, both teams are going to have the opportunity to have a runner on second base and to score some runs. So I feel like I'm okay with it, because if you didn't do what needed to be done within the first 9 innings to win a game, or the first 7 innings, depending on, whether it's a doubleheader or not, then all bets are off in overtime, in extra innings, as long as both teams have the same opportunities. And I feel like both teams have the same opportunities. The Yankees scored and they won, and that's it. So I'm okay with it. Honestly, I'm okay. I'm gonna go even further, Luis, and you're gonna hate this. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
How about things are back to normal? Papa Trump gets the vaccine for all of us. We're all healthy. We're good to go. We can cough on each other and everything again. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for some random guy to cough on me again. What am I saying here? And baseball says,
guys,
all right.
The vaccine is not going to cure anything, guys, because there's going to be a large majority of the population that will not take the vaccine,
well,
at least within the first year. So
that's why Papa Trump
is going to force us to take it. All right.
Here's what I would do. 10th inning, run a runner on first. You do that for 3 innings. If you haven't scored anything, 12th inning number 12 here, put a runner on first and second. What's that? 15th inning? Still tie game? Still over here? All right, let's put a runner first, second, and third.
Nah, man.
Let's load the bases,
bro.
Man.
Stop. It's just not. It doesn't feel right to just give a team a runner on base. Think about it, man.
Both teams have the same opportunities.
We praise guys. I know both teams have the same opportunities, but so what? Who knows what team is better? If there's a team that's better at hitting than the other team, they will always have the advantage anyway. So what's the point? Like,
I don't know, man.
what I'm saying is this: we praise guys that get on base less than half the times, and we're just gonna give them a guy at second. Just here, take it.
So
Hey,
just to speed the game up a little bit.
here's a ball too, man. Here, let's start the count 1-0 as well. Put the count in your favor. Why not? Fuck it. Oh, hey, we're gonna bring the outfield in for you guys too. Fuck it.
Okay, so half of what I said there, I was joking. I don't want to do.
I know.
Add a runner. But
I know you're joking.
But I do. I didn't mind it. And again, my team won, so I'm biased right now. I need to feel it when I lose and see how I feel when I lose, because that's kind of how I base things on. But if it felt like, I don't know, I liked it. Like I stayed and watched the game. Yes, it was a 7-inning game because it was a doubleheader. So the extra innings they started the runner on second in the 8th inning, but I liked it, man. What do you want me to do?
I like the home run derby idea better than that, just because
I feel like people would have a harder time accepting that than the runner on second base.
Well, yeah, because it's completely out of left field. Like, you know, it's a new thing that's never been done before. Even with the runner starting on second, that's still part of like the regular baseball game. But it's like you're putting a guy in scoring position. You're not. It doesn't feel right, man.
All right, how about man? How about this? How about like remove a fielder? If extra innings, center fielder has to get out of the game.
Nah, man. Just keep the game exactly the same. If the home team is winning by the end of the 9 innings or 10th inning, if the home field team is winning at the end of the last inning, they win it. Period, man. All right. Stop trying to change the game of baseball, man. You would, man, if you had your way.
No, see, but the thing is that I understand. Like I get that these things are changing the sport, and you know, the sport eventually is not going to look the way it looked like 100 years ago, but that's okay because the world has changed. The world is moving a lot faster. People don't want, like you said, people don't want to sit there and watch a baseball game for 3.5 hours. You and I will, because we're sick, obsessed fans. We have issues, like deep issues.
Yeah,
but some kids coming up now, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? I started watching this game at 1:00. It's 8 p.m. They're in the 19th inning here. Like, can this game be over now? Like, we're losing those people. We have to come around already.
I think things need to be done to speed up the game, but to insert a scoring opportunity when it wasn't there before. I mean, that's like having an overtime game in the NFL, and then you get to pick one wide receiver that gets to run 2 seconds before the ball is snapped or something. Like it's too much. You went too far. You put a guy in scoring position that wasn't there before, and it's hard to get a guy there in the first place, especially when you're facing a team with a good bullpen. You know, you're just giving away games at that point. To me, I know teams have the same opportunity, but I wouldn't like a overtime game in basketball where you're allowed to stand under the basket for 10 seconds now because it's an overtime game or something. You know, like it's too much, man. It's too much. Don't do it. If it was up to you, there wouldn't be home and away jerseys. Everyone would play in the same structured field. There wouldn't be any customization to like a team's style.
I like that about baseball.
Sure, man. Sure.
I just think we have to kind of just let go a little bit and just
man. Not with that.
Embrace the changes. So you think that if baseball institutes this rule, do you think that you would ever come around to this rule? Do you think like 10 years from now, you're going to be like, fuck, man, they changed the goddamn rule. Now I don't watch baseball anymore.
I can tell you for sure, without a doubt in my mind, that if this becomes the norm, I will never look at it as like a good thing. It would always be a thing to me. It's like, yo, this is what baseball is. You hit the ball, you get on base, you drive in the run. You're just putting a guy at second. I think you need to experience it first. I'm telling you,
I've experienced it. It felt good. It felt nice.
I watched a bunch of games where it's happened already, and it's whatever. If it becomes the norm, I'm not going to become any less of a baseball fan, but I will always make the argument that it just doesn't fit. Like, you're just putting a guy in scoring position for nothing just because the game went ahead of its schedule. Like,
I don't know. All I'm saying is maybe I like a little adrenaline, but it felt good to me. It felt
No,
really
but
good.
equate what putting a runner in scoring position in baseball. Equate that to any other sport and tell me if it makes sense. Like in football, to me, like the first thing that comes to mind is that the wide receiver gets to run down the field a second before the ball is snapped, or maybe the ball gets snapped once the wide receiver is 10 yards down the field. Like it just doesn't make sense. Or that they get to remove a player off the team to advantage to the offense. You know, it's already an advantage to the offense. They already have juiced baseballs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they've already shrunk the strike zone.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, man? Pitchers can't use pine tars, but the batters can use pine tars. Pine tar.
All right. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe all right. Then put a runner on first, then not on second.
That would be a compromise, but even then, it's just getting on base. Like we praise guys that get on base
Starting that
less
bat
than
with
half the
a 3-0
times.
count. Starting that bat with a 3-0 count.
1-1 count. Speed up
2-1
the game.
count.
I'm more on board with starting the count 1-1 in extra inning games than putting a guy on second in extra inning games. And I'm not for either.
But
But
why
if I had to
1-1?
choose, because it speeds up the at bat. It incentivizes the batter to swing.
All right, whatever, man. What the fuck?
I don't know.
All right. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Do you?
Nah.
How are things, man? How's life? How's
good?
How are the kids?
You know, swimming in my testicles.
Okay, that's nice.
TMI.
Don't put your laptop there. You know, keep the babies alive.
That's a problem. I actually do have that problem when I'm laying down and I have my laptop. It's like it's the heat vent is hovering right over that area. So.
You got to protect those babies. The Gomez family lacks a boy, an heir to the name. So we gotta.
Hey man, whatever is swimming around in here has survived. Think about this: we're the product of everything that's happened on this earth for the last 4 billion years. So I think these guys will make it, man.
All right. Am I keeping this in, by the way?
Yeah, sure, if you want. I don't
All
care.
Right. So that's it. Follow me at MannyGo3. Follow Luis at Hobomojo on Twitter. Follow the show at WT The Show. And check out our website, WTTSpod.com. I've been revamping, and we're getting a lot of hits on there. So check it out. And that's it. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.